Hello and welcome back to UnionCraft, the series where we're finally back on the ground after that long, well not that long, but that Skyblock series in the air with no ground. That got old kind of fast. Now I have a ground, and I'm playing slowly this time. I'm still in the wood edge, as you saw, and there's a couple of things I wanted to mention about the last episode, the first one on the series. So. First off, I'm sorry, there's a clip or two where audio did not record. I believe it's because I did some video on the Bedrock edition of the game, and so I forgot to change the source of my audio. So sorry for that, it should be fixed from now on. Second thing is, I realized I showed the goals I have for this age without really saying what they are. So I would like to take a moment and name them, so you know what to expect in this age. And also, yes, it is Christmas today with all the chests around. Don't worry, I'm not skipping Christmas. I celebrated it on the 23rd and 24th. So today, even though it's technically the day for Christmas, it's still okay for me to record. We've given all the presents away and all. So anyway, here's the goals. First off, we have primitive tools. Craft a set of wooden tools: axe, pickaxe, sword, shovel, and hoe. We did all that on the first episode. Most of the tools I lost, or broken, but I did make a tool. So I had the full set of tools for the wooden age. Next one. Gather essentials. Collect saplings and log of every overworld wood type. So that's not completed yet, but I will. I will complete it now that the world border is gone. Hunter's Mark. Hunt and collect leather, wool, and raw meat from passive mobs, then craft leather armor. I did that as well in the first episode, as I was running around killing everything, chopping some wood. Next, shelter builder. Build a small wood-based shelter to protect against the night. I did that. This is the house I'm standing in right now. Lore Keeper's Tome. Write an entry in a lore book and quill, to record your journey. So that's something I want to do whenever I get a squid. I need to start writing what I do every day in the server. I never did keep notes of my journey, so I want to do it now. Added in post by the editing team, which is just me. Farming foundation. Start a small crop farm: wheat, carrot, potatoes, or beetroot. I'm gonna try to do at least 3 of these crops. And yes, it was added in post because I fully forgot to mention it when I was recording. You're welcome. Path Maker. Create pathways and mark key locations with signs or totems. Floral Decorator. Use potted plants to decorate around your home. And Beast Tamer. Tame a wolf as your first companion. Now the 10th goal is still up in the air. You can also just give me an ID for the 10th goal. You can give it a name as well. And I will add one of your suggestions to my 10th goal. Now, the reason I named them all was to give a clear idea of what I'm aiming for in this series. I'm aiming at doing stuff that are not necessarily hard. You know, building a shelter was not hard. Decorating with flowers is not hard. It's just things I never do. Well, the shelter I do, but I feel like it's something I cannot just skip. You have to make the shelter no matter what. But I never decorate with plants, so I'll try to do it. I never make path with signs to like tell you where spawn is, where the others are. So I want to try it. Even something like this trap, what you call them? Pressure plate. Even something like this pressure plate. I never do that, so I wanted to do it. So, before I go, I should equip myself with what's necessary. Goat horn, probably. Wait, which one is this? Feel. Yes, that's the one I need. Now, the goal of my journey is to go get saplings. Not only is that one of our goals, to get all the saplings there is, but it is also, I'll just skip all of it. It's also actually something I want to do for Christmas. If I could get one of each sapling and bring them back to the community, to our other players, and give them as gift one of each sapling. I know Chris already needs a spruce one, and I have that one, so I can definitely do that one. But at least for the other ones, I'm just gonna have to travel. And I think I'm gonna do... What direction is this? This is south? I think I'm just gonna go north. So yeah, the border has been expanded. It was only 500 blocks to start off, so people don't go too far to make their base. But now that everyone has something settled, I think it was in due time to expand everything. So, I'm for sure gonna make a ton of cuts here, because I'm gonna have to walk quite a bit to find all the type of woods I'm missing. Hopefully, I find all of them. So we have jungle, pale oak, dark oak, acacia. Is that all? No, mangrove. We need mangrove, bamboo. So 6 woods for now. If I think of any other I'm missing, I'll add them to the list. So anyway, let's get going north. Before we embark on this expedition, here is the map of our server. Here, the red lines represent the border we had on the first week, which we no longer have, and the green dot would be where spawn is. First off, I settled myself over there, a bit close to spawn, a bit north, a bit to the west, or east? East. Northeast. Then we have Chris, northwest, even more north than me, near the border, in the village. And later on he was joined by Shante, in the same village, I believe. Almost directly below me in the south, we have Josh. And a bit more south than that, we have Trideca in the mines just under the snowy mountains. So that was the server with the border. The border was there to make us stay near spawn, and I believe it worked. So now that we removed that border and extended the world we live in, now we can go and gather everything we needed. That's why the expedition can be done now, because we do not have the border anymore. We're now off to getting all. Our first stop was not that far away from home, about 1,500 blocks. And that's where we collected the first type of wood we were missing, dark oak. So now that we had dark oak, we only needed 5 more types of wood. So I gathered about 16 to 20 saplings just to make sure I have enough for me and my friends. And then I moved on to the next location. A little bit later, I stumbled upon a shipwreck, and inside of it was enchanted leather armor. I believe that is the first time ever that I was happy to get leather armor as loot, because this is the first time that leather armor is actually an upgrade. But yeah, I did get new armor, I swapped what I had on me, and I was actually happy to get leather armor, which is something new for me. So that's proving that this challenge of limiting myself works. So next, I found a village that was not that far from the shipwreck, and of course I raided the whole village for every A-bale they had, I raided every chest they had, only took what I could take in my current age, so that means no iron, and I also just about switched my bed for a better one, because yes, yellow bed is still better than a white bed, we want colored bed. So that's about it for the village. As I was swimming away from the village, I came across some squids, and I knew I needed ink sacs later, so I killed a few of them to get the ink sacs. It's going to be both useful when I want to color stuff, and because I needed it for some books. I gathered, I believe, 6 or 7 ink sacs, and went on my way after that. By this point of the expedition, I kind of realized that the journey would be much longer than I expected, so I made a quick stop for some food, killed a couple of cows at one location, went a bit further and saw 2 more cows, just enough to keep me going for the whole expedition, which will be longer than anticipated. And here comes the first disappointment of the expedition. I found a flint and steel, was so happy was about to get it. Then I realized, no, that's made of iron. I cannot use it in my current age, so I left it there. But the disappointment was not over, because the very next village I found had a blacksmith, which had iron armor and iron weapons. Which of course I could not pick, so I took the bread and I went on the next. And the next was another blacksmith, because there was another one right around the corner. And of course, I didn't think that I would be able to get any loot from this, because again, iron pants. But I got an apple. I'd say that's a win. Now, the real disappointment was the third blacksmith of the village. Yes, there was 3 of them. This one had 3 diamonds, which I could not pick up. So the village had enough for a full iron armor, an iron pickaxe, and enough to make a diamond pickaxe. But I'm not at that age yet. I'll come back later if it's still there. At least very close by at the end of the village, I could spot a jungle in the distance. So I decided to go towards it. That would be my second wood type collected. Jungle wood is not my favorite, but I want to get every types of wood. So I did go for the jungle wood. And as I got closer, I spotted a single bamboo, which is another type of wood. I prefer the bamboo a little bit, but in any way, that was a combo that was nice to get 2 woods in one. And it didn't take long to find the next area, because it's another combo. We have the acacia biome, or the savanna with acacia trees, right next to a mangrove swamp, which means I got 2 different types of wood in one go. And the nice thing about those mangroves is that you can just plop the propagule. You don't even have to deal with the leaves or cutting the trees, so it was quite easy to gather those saplings. Quote-unquote saplings. Further down the swamp, I found frogs. It is actually the first time I see frogs in-game. I've seen them in videos, but never in my own game, so I took a moment to check them out until they became weird and I left. A bit further in the next swamp, I took a moment to pick up the rare type of flower that I might need soon. I took about 10 of them just to have enough, and then I went on my way again. A little bit later in the same swamp, I came across a witch hut, and although I've seen witch huts before, I never went inside of one, so I didn't know what kind of loot they had. I decided to try to peek through the window. I didn't see the witch. It was right across the corner. Now don't mind the misses. I eventually managed to attack the witch and kill her, even though she didn't defend herself. I feel kind of bad about that, but I mean, I needed to go see inside and get the loot, you know? So I decided to make myself a staircase with the wood of the house. I went inside the hut just to see nothing. There is no loot. So I ran away from my crimes, hoping not to get caught. And I got caught a few blocks over by a couple of frogs who were judging me for my crimes. So I decided to run again, and hopefully they're gonna all forget about it in a few weeks. Now a bit further I found an igloo. It is not actually the first time I've seen an igloo, but I never went inside and actually cured the villager in there. If you don't know, there's a trapdoor right here that you can go inside, and there's everything you need to cure a zombie villager. That's how you learn about curing villagers in the game. So I went down, I looked around, I decided to pick up some of the stuff in the chest. So the coal, the apples, but I decided against curing the villager now. I decided I will do it later, and I'll leave the apple there so I can do it without having to bring anything new. There's also the potion right next to it, so it should be super easy to do next time I come here. My next stop is past 10,000 blocks away, and it was just a quick bed swap. I found a blue bed, decided it was better than yellow, and picked it up. A little bit further away, I found some climate change proof, and just walked away from it because we walk away from our problems. A bit further away now, 13,000 blocks, I'm unable to reach that chest. I'm having difficulties reaching the first chest, but anyway, it's filled with iron. Cannot pick any of that iron. I could have picked up the emeralds because I don't see it as like limited in any age. The next chest has a treasure map, which interests me because I could be close to the treasure, and I kinda am. So later on I'll try to go to that. But first, there's the last chest here, and ooh, armor trims. That's something I want to collect, so I decide to pick one, and I have to sacrifice stacks of wood for both the moss and the armor trim. That's the first time it became apparent that my inventory was a problem. Now a bit further, I'm at the location of the treasure. I want to go get it, but it ended up being on an underwater ruins, and the occupants didn't want me to get near, so it might be something I'll have to come back for. And since I had already problems with my inventory, decided to ditch the map. Later on, I had a plan. I needed the night to find spiders, because I knew that something was added recently about inventory management, and I had really a lot of issues with my inventory right now, so I needed some string. And thankfully the first spider dropped 2, which was great, but I wanted a bit more. I did end up not staying at this location. It became too dangerous. Creepers and skeletons were spawning, but no spiders, so I decided to run in the ice. I wanted to avoid going to that biome because the skeleton that spawn here can spawn as strays, and those are really dangerous because their arrow slows you down. And if I get slowed down, I could get killed at any moment. Remember, I'm in leather armor. I'm super weak right now. So I ran away, I looked left and right. I'm looking for spiders in the distance. You saw straight to the right there. I'm still looking for a spider. Eventually, I see one surrounded by other mobs. I decide to go for it anyway because I think I can avoid those creepers and zombies. Thankfully, I don't miss. I get 2 good hit. I get a weird glitch about running, but that's fine. I find another spider. This one didn't go that well. I do a good crit and then I miss, and I do weak hits. By the time I got the last string, I was surrounded, so I just ran away. At least I survived. So I ran away fully. Now, a bit further, just a little bit to get some safety. I slept and I started to craft the bundles. This was my first time crafting the bundles. It is a pretty new feature. It came with the Bundles of Bravery, I believe, which was just before the Creaking update. So I decided to dye them. I make one blue, one white one. And then I start placing stuff in there. And oh my god, I didn't know how useful that would be. I start placing items in there and like, it's gonna limit me at some point, but it keeps going. It keeps letting me put stuff inside of it. And it took me a moment to understand which button I need to press for it to go inside, but I store my items as much as possible. And a little bit later, I finished to actually set up my whole inventory. And look how different it looks now. Now it looks so much better. I'm just placing the last bit of food, but there's so much space, and that was just 2 bundles. I have enough to make 2 more if I need to. So anyway, I went on my way now. 23,000 blocks away. That took so many blocks to finally find the last type of wood. I was looking for this for hours. I finally get to find the biome. I collect some saplings. I was trying to get about 20. That way I can give 4 to each 4 players and 1 extra to make sure that you can regrow them if you get unlucky. Then I take a flower and I get terrified. The sound was so fast. And then I really didn't want to not look at them because those creatures, if you don't know, only move if you don't look at them. So I needed to keep looking at them. But I was walking off backward towards a cliff, so I needed to be kind of careful. And then I go backwards slowly, but I hear them getting closer when they get behind a block. Or when I look away. So I decided 16 was enough. I was just gonna jump out and hopefully survive. That was a risk considering I'm 23,000 blocks away from home. With every block and saplings I would need, I could have died there and never got my items back. But I'm out. Home sweet home. We're finally back. Oh my, that was a long journey. A lot longer than I thought it would be. Actually, yeah, it's been over 5 hours, I think. Or around 5 hours. But we're back. We're back home. And we should have everything we went to go and get. Let's go inside and see the packed hole we unleashed. So we already had those 4 types. Let's separate them like this. So we already have those. And we added to that the pale oak, the most recent type of wood. And how do you... Oh, that's how you do it. You right click it. Cocoa bean, no thank you. We're adding all of these wood types. Am I missing one? Yes, propagules. How do you select just propagule? Can I... Oh. Oh, it works! That's so good. Okay. First time using this. So, all the different types. I have 10. Yeah, I think that's good. 10 is good. So now, before actually sending it to people, I'd like to make them bottle. Just like I had. I want to give them bundles. So can I... Yeah, I can... Right click... Huh? Okay, I need to not move too fast when I do this. Come on. Okay. That part was a bit hard. Now, 2 of these. I will clean this up later, okay? We did get a bunch of stuff if you look. A lot of flowers. That's going to be for later. A lot of food with the A-bells. Some wood. And... Okay. So I need cocoa bean. I need... this one actually will stay white. I'd like to have an orange one. So I need a red and yellow. Red and yellow dye. And then... What other one should I get? I don't know. For now... Maybe yellow. Yeah, I'll do another yellow. And I'll actually do... these. So... What I want is to give the saplings in bundles, because those were way more useful than I thought they would be. And so I want to share that joy with other people. So let's do a yellow one. Let's get some red dye and make some orange dye, and then bam. Now surely I can... Oh, didn't mean to do that. Surely I can recolor these, right? If I just put it there. Yeah, brown. Okay. So that's going to be the colors I'm going to send the gifts in. I just need to collect some of the wood and actually build them gifts with this. And so I did. Josh received the white box present in front of his house. Chris received the orange box present in front of his house, which I'm guessing he will share with Shante. Trideca got the brown box, and that was 1 gift for each of them. They all have a bundle in there with every type of wood they can need. Now that everyone has a gift, the only thing I need to do now is to make a book. Where is my... There it is. I get my ink and my feather up there. And now I make a book and quill to... No, that's a goat horn. That's not how you do it. There we go. And I'll be basically marking everything I did up to now in this format. Day 1, and then you just like... today, and you go on, you know. So let me write all the entries I missed from the first few days of the server, because I didn't start the book on the beginning. Let's start now. So I have written the entries for every day. Let's read them together. Day 1, the day the server opened. I used the most part of today running around our 500 block radius world. I collected plants, killed tons of animals, and even looted water. What? Looted water ruins chests. I'm sure it's not the name of it. Underwater ruins, maybe? But they're not underwater, so it's weird. For some loot. And then I put the objectives I managed to do that day. Primitive tools, Hunter's Mark. I did both of these on the first day. Day 2. Today I found where I want to settle my initial house. I've cleared the land, placed my bed, and some chests. Then it was time to start chopping some wood for building. And there you're gonna see there's a skip of 3 days. We're day 5. That's because the days go with the real life days. So there should be about 7 days in between episodes. Today I used the wood I was farming to build myself a modest but cozy cottage house. This is where I will be living for a little while. And that's when I did Shelter Builder on day 5 of the server. Next we have day 9, another big skip, because that was over the weekend, over the festivities of Christmas. Today I went on a big expedition. It led me to many treasures and dangers. But my only goal was getting every type of wood, I could find. The mission was a success. Gather essentials. And, of course, today I have started to write in this very book. This is the start of my personal journal. And then Lore Keeper's Tome. That's where we are right now. Day 10 of the server open. That's pretty much all I did today, was open this. And I guess today I have watched Chris open his present and started to write in this very book. There we go. So that way we have both things I did today. And that's pretty much it. That's where we're gonna call this episode, actually. We're gonna have to say goodbye for today. I did 2 more goals, so hopefully at the end of the episode there's gonna be a ding ding, you know? 2 more goals, 5 more to go, and I have to say, I already know which goal is gonna be the 10th one. I did receive a recommendation in the comments, and I think it's a good one. I gotta have to tweak it a little bit to make it easier to do, and it was a bit vague, but I'm gonna talk more about that in the next episode. So I'll see you in episode 3 of UnionCraft. Bye bye.